Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off this presentation with you today. We'll be exploring 13 lessons on how to use rejection to your favor, inspired by Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism. We'll delve into how rejection, often seen as painful, can actually be a powerful tool for growth and strength. Over the next few slides, I'll share insights and practical lessons on transforming rejection into an advantage, blending ancient wisdom with modern psychology. So, let's get started and discover how rejection can become one of your greatest teachers. You know, when we think about rejection, it's often seen as a setback or a sign of failure. But actually, rejection is a sign that you're moving, that you're taking action. Every time you apply for that job, pursue that opportunity, or even confess how you feel, rejection can happen. And that's a good thing because it means you're alive, engaged, and actively participating in your growth. The key point here is that if you never risk anything, you'll never face rejection. But in doing so, you also miss out on the chance to learn, to improve, and to grow. So, rejection isn't the end. It's proof that you're pushing forward, that you're in motion. And that's what this whole journey is about: staying active, staying resilient, and understanding that rejection is part of the process of becoming your best self. Let's talk about revering the frame here. The old way of thinking might be, I wasn't chosen, which can feel like a loss or rejection. But the new, more empowering perspective is, I am free from what was not aligned with me. This is a key shift. Instead of losing something, you're gaining clarity and freedom. This is what I like to call the Stoic reversal. It's about understanding that you don't actually lose a person, an opportunity, or a role. What you lose is only what was never truly meant to fit into your life. By framing it this way, we shift from feeling like we're missing out or being rejected to recognizing that we're actually being freed from what doesn't serve our growth. This aligns perfectly with our overall theme of transformation and resilience. It's about seeing setbacks not as losses, but as opportunities for liberation and alignment with your true path. Today, we're focusing on the idea that when the ego dies, wisdom begins to grow. Rejection plays a crucial role here because it humbles us. It's like a wake-up call that strips away feelings of entitlement and self-deception. When we face rejection, we're forced to confront parts of ourselves that aren't true or helpful. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This reminds us that rejection pushes us toward honesty and integrity. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's also a powerful catalyst for self-awareness. By embracing rejection, we shed the false layers of who we think we are, making room for genuine wisdom to take root and grow. This is a key part of the overall journey toward personal growth and resilience. So, one of the most powerful ideas in Stoicism is understanding that you cannot be rejected by what is not truly yours. This might sound a bit abstract at first, but let me explain. Stoicism teaches us that we only have control over our actions, our choices, and our mindset. We don't have control over how others respond or what outcomes happen. So, when it comes to things like a job, a relationship, or even a group you want to be part of, if they turn you away, that's not necessarily a rejection of you personally. Instead, it's a sign that perhaps that opportunity or connection was never really meant to be yours in the first place. This shifts your perspective from feeling hurt or rejected to recognizing that what's meant for you will come in its own time. It's about understanding that you're not missing out on something you were destined to have. Instead, you're aligning yourself with what truly belongs to you, and that's a core part of practicing resilience and peace of mind. This idea ties into the overall theme of the presentation, focusing on what we can control and letting go of the rest. When we do that, rejection doesn't have the power to shake us as much, because we see it as part of a larger natural process. All right, let's talk about reverse psychology in relationships. When someone rejects you, the instinctive reaction is often to chase after them, explain yourself, or even beg to fix things. But here where reverse psychology comes into play. Instead of giving in to that urge, you step back, accept their decision, and detach emotionally. This might sound counterintuitive, but it's actually quite powerful. By doing this, you project calm confidence and emotional independence. Ironically, This kind of composed response often increases respect and attraction because it shows strength and self-assurance. On the other hand, chasing or begging can actually have the opposite effect. It can diminish respect and make you seem less confident. So, in the context of our overall theme, building healthier, more attractive relationships, understanding this dynamic is crucial. Sometimes, doing less and staying composed can create more pull than trying to force things. Let's talk about emotional detachment as a form of power. Marcus Aurelius, for example, practiced detachment not just from praise, but also from blame. He understood that true strength comes from remaining steady regardless of external validation or criticism. When we face rejection or denial, it's a real test of our inner stability. Mastering this calm, detached state allows us to project an aura of inner authority. It's about not letting external opinions shake us, which in turn gives us more control over our reactions and our mindset. This idea ties into our overall theme of developing resilience and self-mastery. By cultivating emotional detachment, we're not shutting ourselves off from feelings, but rather gaining the power to choose our responses. That's where real strength lies, when we can stay centered no matter what comes our way. So here's an important idea. Every no actually helps clarify your path. When doors close, it might seem like a setback, but in reality, it's guiding you away from paths that aren't right for you. For example, I received 10 rejections, and each one was a signal that I shouldn't go down that particular route. And that's the key. These rejections help you avoid wasting time and energy on directions that aren't aligned with your goals or values. In the same way, I might have avoided 10 dead-end paths, saving me from unnecessary frustration and effort. What's really powerful is the clarity that comes from rejection. It sharpens your understanding of where not to invest your life's energy. The Stoics, for instance, valued clarity above comfort, because knowing what isn't right is just as important as knowing what is. So, think of rejection as a tool for precision. It's not just about being turned away, it's about being guided toward a clearer, more focused path. That's how rejection ultimately shapes your journey, by helping you avoid detours and stay true to your purpose. Rejection builds resilience muscles. That's a powerful idea. Think of each rejection not just as a setback, but as emotional training. Just like lifting weights in the gym makes our muscles stronger, facing rejection helps strengthen our mental and emotional resilience. When we endure rejection with dignity, we become more unshakable over time. This idea aligns perfectly with the overall theme of growing stronger through challenges. It's about transforming setbacks into sources of strength, much like the Stoic ideal of remaining steadfast regardless of external circumstances. So, every rejection is an opportunity to build that inner resilience, making us better equipped for whatever lies ahead. Now, let's look at how we can reverse the shame game. Society often sends us a message that rejection equals shame. We're conditioned to feel embarrassed or unworthy when we face rejection. But here where reverse psychology comes into play. Instead of seeing rejection as shameful, we can reframe it as daring greatly. When you put yourself out there and face rejection, it actually shows courage and boldness. The key point here is that shame doesn't come from rejection itself, but from cowardice, holding back out of fear. So, by flipping the script, we recognize that rejection is a sign of bravery, not shame. This shift in perspective can empower us to take more risks and embrace vulnerability as a strength, aligning perfectly with the overall theme of overcoming fear and building resilience.